Hey guys, Aslan here with a quick review of For Honor. For Honor is a third-person medieval action game featuring skillful melee combat in both a story campaign and a multiplayer setting. The single-player campaign takes you through the stories of 3 different factions, the Knights, the Vikings, and the Samurai. Storming enemy bases and fighting enemies and bosses in close quarters combat is quite thrilling. Although I did find it a little weird that the AI takes turns attacking you one at a time while playing on normal mode. The campaign has a story progression system that unlocks feats that are only usable in single player. Some of these feats make the missions a lot easier though, so if you want more of a challenge, increasing the difficulty might be a good idea. Throughout the missions, there are collectibles that give you a little more insight into your character's thoughts and the story. Overall, the story is decent, albeit predictable, but that didn't make it any less enjoyable. For as much as I like the campaign, I think that the meat of the game lies with the multiplayer. There are different multiplayer modes available, and you can PvP or play against the AI in 1 vs 1, 2 vs 2, and 4 vs 4 battles. You choose from a variety of warriors to play as, and each one is distinct and has their own unique moveset and playstyle. No matter which warrior you play, the combat is simply fantastic across the board. The combat is very responsive, but performing successful attack combos, blocks, dodges, and parries definitely takes skill. Timing is everything, and the game will require a good amount of practice. Honestly, I really love the combat. It just feels so intense fighting in duels or even 1 vs 2 or 2 vs 2 trying to outthink and outplay your opponents. It's especially satisfying to finish off your enemies with a brutal execute. Conversely, killing players instantly by throwing them off ledges or dying that way feels kind of lame, and I would really like there be a way to climb back up if you perform a combo properly. The 4 vs 4 Dominion matches are usually more casual and often result in players running away from combat to regain health at an already controlled capture point. These matches can feel a bit zergy at times, so it's usually safer to stay together so you don't get outnumbered. Players doing well in a 4 vs 4 match unlock abilities to give them even more of an advantage. The 4 vs 4 death matches are essentially the same as the Dominion except there's no respawning. You can revive though, which brings me to something that I don't like. Reviving players resurrects them with full health and no negative effects at all. It doesn't make much sense to me, but I suppose it does encourage players to properly execute their targets to prevent the revive from happening in the first place. The 4 vs 4 modes have a progression system which allows players to equip gear to increase some stats while reducing others. For example, you can increase your attack capabilities, but it also lowers your defense. This is where some of the microtransactions come in. You can buy in-game currency to obtain things like cosmetics, XP, and loot boosts, or just pay your way to skip the progression system altogether by unlocking all the character feats and buying a ton of packs for armor and weapon upgrades. All of this stuff can be earned by playing the game, but I'm never a fan of any microtransactions that give a gameplay advantage, even if it is a pay-to-get-ahead method. On the bright side, all of these feats and gear are completely irrelevant in the 1 vs 1 duel or 2 vs 2 brawl modes, so the gameplay should be more balanced there. As far as the multiplayer goes, I haven't experienced much in the way of lag or any disconnect issues, but I have noticed that when players leave a game mid-match, that everything kind of freezes across the server for a brief period. It's probably due to the matches not being hosted on dedicated servers, so I would like to see dedicated servers added to the game. The environments and the characters all look great. The cinematics are visually appealing, but sometimes it seems like the character animation was a little jittery. The music is good, the sound effects are impeccable and do an excellent job of making the combat experience feel real. The voice acting is done very well, but the key bindings are fully customizable and there is Xbox controller support. The campaign took me about 6 hours to complete. There is incentive to max out your story mission level to earn more currency, but I would rather just PvP instead. Killing players in multiplayer is more satisfying. I do have some concerns with the long-term replay value though. Even with the event system and there being different maps to play on, I worry that the same modes will get a bit stale after a while. For Honor also has a season pass, and for as much as I hate season passes, I'm glad that this one doesn't lock any content like maps or characters behind a paywall, and everything will still be obtainable with in-game currency. I'm sure that some people will be turned off by the lack of dedicated servers and the presence of microtransactions in a fully priced game, and I understand those concerns. However, for those who can look past this somewhat greedy business model, For Honor has an extremely well-designed and fun combat system to experience. If you're a fan of skilled combat with intense swordplay encounters, then you're likely to enjoy For Honor. I hope this review has helped you. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and post your feedback in the comments below. Thanks everyone, and have a wonderful day.